Hello everyone, welcome back to Code My Hobby, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to make this cool website using HTML, CSS and JavaScript only. Now the JavaScript I used was basically for the navigation area, so as you can see when we went to the about page it scrolled by itself, so that's the JavaScript we'll be using here. We added some animations using CSS and it's a really cool website. You can see the hover effects around here. And over here also you can see the over effect. It's a really cool website. I think you should give it a try. Now I'll be linking the source code in my GitHub page. The link is going to be in the description below, so if you want to get the source code you can get it in the description below. And also if you want me to make this website completely responsive, comment your thoughts down below, let me know, and I'll make this website responsive. So the more comments I get, the faster I'll make this website responsive. And also I'll be hosting this website, and if you want to know how I'm doing that for free, subscribe to my channel and don't miss out, because I'm going to be doing that real soon, and trust me, you don't want to miss out on that. I'll be hosting this website for free and I'll be showing you all how to do that. So without further ado, let's get started. Hello everyone, welcome to Code My Hobby. I upload daily videos based around programming with HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Smash that subscribe button if that sounds interesting to you. Today we are going to be making a fully responsive website using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. You might want to stick around till the end of the video, or you want to subscribe, because definitely I'm going to host this website for free and I'm going to be teaching you guys how to do that also in our next video. So I'm in my VS Code here and I already have my boilerplate ready, so you can get that by hitting the exclamation mark and enter. You'll get your boilerplate. So first off, we want to start with the nav, so let's give this nav, let's give this a title of responsive website. So first we're going to create our nav, so we want to select the header tag, then we'll select the anchor tag. We don't want to link it to anything yet. Let's give this anchor tag a class of logo. In this anchor tag we're going to name it explore, and also we're going to have a span. We want to style this span. So basically this is the title. So next we want to make a div and give it a class of menu toggle. Next on UL, give a class of navigation, li, an anchor tag. Let's just give this hash for now. Let's call this home. Anchor tag. Let's call this about. Let's just copy this. Let's call this places. Let's make this services. Give this sorry, testimonials. And contact. So let's link our CSS. And we'll be using font awesome, so let's link our font awesome also. So save this and let's open this in our live server. Okay, now let's go to our CSS. Now we want to select everything, so we'll use the asterisk global selector. Let's give this a margin of 0, padding 0 also, box sizing, border box. Let's give this a font family of sans serif, and also let's make the scroll behavior smooth, so when you're scrolling it's easier and it looks more presentable. So value 255 and 0.933. Also, we're going to give this a padding of 10 pixels top and bottom, and 100 pixels left and right. You will see the end result of this later. So let's give this a box size, box shadow of border box. No, box shadow 0, 5 pixels and 20 pixels. So let's give this a color of RGB 77 228 no 228 and 255. Let's get rid of this. No, this is wrong. Color RGB 77 228 and 255. Yes. So next we want to select the navigation. Let's give this a position relative and display flex. Next, select the header, the navigation, let's make sure this correlates. Yes, so no mistakes. Select the li, list style of none to get rid of those bullet points, and margin, let's give this margin length of 30 pixels. Next, we want to select the anchor tag, so header, navigation, LIA. So text decoration, none. Select the color, let's give this white, and font width of 500. So now let's select a sticky dot navigation LI. Let's give this a color of black. Sticky navigation LI over color. I'm going to use the color we used for the span, which is this, and transition 0.5 seconds, ease in out. So let's go to our index.html so we can apply the JavaScript. So just go over here, you can give this a tag of JavaScript. So we'll say script. So let's give this function toggle menu. So what do we want this function to do? Let's give, we have to make a const menu toggle equals document The query selector should pop up. Query selector, yes. Let's select the menu toggle. So next thing, I want to make a const. Let's give this navigation equals document query selector navigation. So let's call the menu toggle that we just made the class list dot toggle active. So this would be explained. Okay, we made silly mistake here, so let's cancel this and put it in. Yes, so that's way better. Since it's a class, it needs to have dots. So I'll explain what this means when I'm done. So let's select the navigation, the class list, the toggle active. So what this is simply saying is, when we make our website in mobile view, we definitely want to have access to the navigation bar. So when we have the three bars, okay, something like this, when we have the three bars in our website, we want to click it. So when it's being clicked, when it's being toggled, it's active. The menu toggle is active. So when we also want to close it, the navigation is active. So that's what this is simply saying. So I told you we made a class called sticky, so let's make use of that in our JavaScript. So let's say window dot add event listener, scroll, function, so window dot add, no, so let's create constants, header equals document, the query selector, we're going to select the header. Header, since we've selected header, so come here and say header dot class lists dot toggle. Now we're going to use the sticky which we made in our CSS. Window the scroll y less than 0. So this is simply for scrolling. So let's save this and check our browser. Let's check the error. banner and also an ID of banner. Then in this section we're going to have our image. So let's get this from the images folder. So we're going to select image 1. So let's give this image a class. Let's get rid of this. Let's give this a class of fits bg, so it fits to the background. Also, let's make a div with a class of content. Let's give this an h2 explore. Over here, our paragraph tag. Let's just have dummy text. Warren, break this. Okay. So next thing we want to do is to make a simple button. So over here we'll select our anchor tag and call this learn more. So let's give this a class of btn. Now let's jump into our CSS. So let's select the banner, give this a position of relative width of 100%, mean height of 100 viewport height, display flex, justify content, center and align items, center. So next we want to select the before property of this banner. So let's give this a content. Give this a position of absolute. Give this a bottom of 0, left 0 also, and width of 100%. So let's give this a height of 400 pixels, z index 1, and background linear gradient. To top, hash FFF transparent. Save this. Now let's select the let's select the content. So say banner dot content. So let's give this a position of relative max width of 100 pixels and text align to the center and a z index of 1. Next we want to select the h2 banner dot content dot h2 Let's give this a color of white, font size of 5 EM. So next thing we want to select is the paragraph tag. So say banner dot content dot p, no, not dot p. So let's give this a color of white. Also font size of 1.2 EM. So the next thing we want to select is the button btn. Let's check btn, copy, paste to be sure. So let's give this a position of relative display flex, margin top 30 pixels. Let's give this a padding 10 pixels top and bottom, 30 pixels left and right. Let's give this a background color of white, and the text color should be gray. Now let's remove any text decoration. Text decoration none, and transition should be 0.5 seconds. So let's add hover effect on the button. So the btn hover. Let's give this a background color. Yes, we're going to use this background color, and the text color is going to be white. Save this, check your browser. Okay, so you can see what happens when we scroll down the nav. This was what we were doing with our JavaScript. So you can see the over effect on the nav also. But we're not talking about the nav now. So how do we make our text appear here? Now let's select this class, fit background, hit bg, copy, paste it here. Let's give this a position of absolute top of 0, left 0 also, width of 100%, and let's give this a height of 100%. Let's give this object fit cover, and an opacity of 0.8. So save this and check your browser. Okay, you can see our btn is not in shape, so let's fix that real quick. So let's check. Okay, it's not display flex, shouldn't be flex, it should be inline block. Save this and check your browser. So yes, this is quite okay. So now let's move to the about section. So let's make a new section. Let's highlight this and give it about, because we're going to make the about section. So section, let's give this a class of about and an ID of about. Now let's make a div. Let's give this a class of content box, content bx. In this content bx, we're going to have an h2 with a class of text title or title text. So in here we'll say something like enjoy the beauty of nature. Next, we want to make a paragraph tag, get dummy text, break this, okay. Let's add more. Let's add a break tag br, come here, lorem also, okay. Break this, and break this, save. This should be okay. Now let's make our anchor tag here, and let's give this a class of btn. To en color of white, no, color of black or gray. Let's make this color black, and margin bottom of 10 pixels. Let's give this paragraph a class also. Let's call it title text. So now select the title text. Let's add the color white of black and font size of 1 em. Now I want to select the image. Where is the image? Oh, we didn't add the image. So let's add the image. Let's give this a div imgbx. Let's give the image images slash image 2. Save. Go to your CSS and let's select the image. Dot about. The imgbx position relative mean width of 50%, width of 50%, and mean height of 500 pixels. Save this and check your browser. Okay, definitely there's an issue with this image, so let's fix that. So why is it like this? Okay, let's check for a quick fix. So okay, let's add the class of fit bg. That's the fit background class we added to this image. And also let's check, since we created this section, we didn't style this section, so let's go up and style this section now. So okay, here say section position relative and padding of 100 pixels. Save this and should be working fine. Yeah, so let's remove the styling of this button. We want to make the button blue, and we'll change the over effect to a more contemporary color, something related to this. So let's do that real quick. Okay, so we want to copy. Okay, let's change the class. Let's change it to btn2. So let's go up. We'll start our btn. most interesting places to visit and activities. So I'll save this. Now we're going to create a new div with the class of destination list. We're going to create a new div with class of box, and in this box we're going to make a div with the class of image ex, and we're going to have our image tag here. So let's say images / im, okay, image, let me see, image 4, okay. Then make a new div with the class of content. Give this h2, say destination. So the first image is going to be an island, so call this island and break. Then let's create a span and give this country name. The island should be somewhere in, let's just say okay. Next, okay, so we're going to copy this div with the class of box and paste it 3 times. So this is going to be image 5 and image 6. So this is going to change to waterfall. Let's change this to Spain. And this is going to change to ocean. Let's call this, let's change country to save. Now let's start this in our set. No, we're not done yet. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is to make a button. So let's go down over here and create an anchor tag. View more. Save this and let's go to our CSS. No, we didn't give our anchor tag class of btn, class btn. Save. So we're in our CSS now. So we're going to select the destination. We're going to give it the text align, center. Now I'm going to select the destination content. I'm going to give this a text align of center also. Next thing we want to select is the destination list. So select destination and destination list. So we'll give this a position of relative, display, flex, justify content, center. Get rid of this center. Align items, center also. Flex wrap and margin top of 40 pixels. So next we want to select the box, so let's copy this and grab the box. Now we want to give this box a position of relative, mean height of 350 pixels. No, okay, mean width, let's make the width 350 pixels, the height 400 pixels, background should be #FFF, and margin should be 10 pixels. So now we want to add over effects on each box. So over, give this an opacity of 0.2. so when we hover on each box, all the boxes become dull, then one becomes bright. Now destination list, and box, and opacity of 1. So now let's style the image box. Destination list, dot box dot INGBX. So let's give this a position of relative with 100% and the height of 400 pixels. Destination. Now I want to grab the content. So let's give this a width of 100%, height of 80 pixels. Display flex, align items to the center, and justify content to center. Now we want to grab the H2. Let's just copy this and select the H2. Give this a color of white, no, of black. Font width of 500 pixels, or 500 rather, and the line height of 1.2 em. Now the last thing we want to select is the span. Copy this, span. So I want to give this a font size of 0.8 em, font width of 300, and an opacity of 0.5. So let's save this and check our browser. Okay, definitely we can see the images are not aligned properly, so let's fix that real quick. So that's the fun thing about programming, because sometimes you find errors and once it keeps you going. The errors keeps you going. So I think I found the error over here. So let's make this 480 pixels and let's change this to, let's use a darker shade of white. This is okay. And also we didn't give our images the class of fits bg. So here we're going to make a class fit bg. Save this and when we check our browser, it should work fine. So this is how it looks. Let's change that background color to a darker shade of white. Okay, save and check your browser. Okay, so this is okay. It's okay. So let's change the style for this, because no one will know this is actually a button. So let's copy the text, the button rather. Copy this, paste over here. Let's change this to btn3. Save. btn3, and let's grab this background color. Let's grab this color, copy and paste it over here. Now let's change this color to white. Save and check your browser. Okay, it's not affecting it yet. Save, should work out now. Okay, so I added transition. So make sure you add your transition. I added transition of 0.5 seconds to my btn. Also excuse me, also I added a transition over here. So make sure you add your transition. That's why it's able to move with ease. Let me show you what happens when I remove the transition. So let's get rid of this. Save. It's not looking cool, looking like an amateur website. So let's add the transition. Now we're done with 3 sections of the web page. Now it's time to move to, I don't really like this in particular. It's not so inviting, so why don't we style this? Let's style this. So let's give this a class of text title. We already have styled text title class, and this class of title save. So save that and check the browser. Okay, this is better, but I think we should make this a bit brighter. It's more grayish, so let's make it the whiter version. maybe like light gray or something. Let's change this. This should be okay. Now the next thing we want to do is the testimonial section. So let's go to our HTML over here. So create a section, a class of testimonial, and an ID of testimonial. Now in our section, in our testimonial section, we're going to make a div with the class of title, and this title is going to have another class, right? And here we're going to have our h2. Call this, let's give this h2 class of testimonial test. Let's make this capital letter, and okay, here they said about us. So we're going to make a paragraph tag here, and we're going to give this a class, class of, let's say, testimonial text also. But this text is going to have a small t. So generate your random text lorem. So that's simple. Next we want to move on to making a new div with a class of of testimonial content. In this div we're going to have a sub div with a class of box, and in this box we're going to have a div with a class of image bx also. Here we have our image, so let's select our image from our images folder. I'm going to select image 7 and give this a class of fit bg. Yes, we've already styled this class. So the next thing we're going to select is we're going to create a new div with a class of text. We're going to give this a paragraph, generate a random text lorem. So I guess that's it for now. So we're going to copy this box div and paste it 2 times. Save this. Also we want to give this let's give this an h3. Let's just say famous person. So copy this and paste it beneath the paragraph tag. Save this. Now the next thing I want to go to is styling this. So let's select testimonial class. So let's go up here, copy this dot testimonial, give this a background, URL, images slash let's say image 10. And so we want this to cover, so let's give this a background size, cover. Next thing we want to select is, okay, let's select our testimonial text. So let's copy this, text align to the center, font size of 40 pixels, and the color should be white. Next thing we want to do is grab the span. So copy this and grab the span over here. I want to give this a font size of 50 pixels, and the color should be the blue, this blue color over here. Next thing I want to grab is testimonial and the paragraph. So let's copy this over here. So let's give this a color of white, and text align to the center, and font size should be 18 pixels. Next thing we want to grab is this, our testimonial content. So go over here and give this a display, flex, justify content to the center, flex wrap, flex direction to row, and give this a margin top of 40 pixels. And I want to grab the box, so let's copy this. And let's give this a width of 340 pixels, margin of 20 pixels, padding 40 pixels, background of white, display, flex, justify content to the center, align items also to the center, flex direction, column, and transition should be 0.5 seconds. I want to check if I made the color black. Okay, so this should be #111, also #111. The next thing we want to select is we want to give this box an over effect. So let's copy this. So let's make this transform. I want to make it move up a bit, so we're going to give it translate y of -10 pixels, and box shadow 0, 15 pixels, 35 pixels, RGBA 0, 0, 0, 0.05. The next thing we want to select is the text. So go over here, .text. So let's give this a letter, spacing, no. Let's give it a letter spacing of 1 pixel, line height of 24 pixels, and text align to the center. The next thing we want to grab is the paragraph tag. So come here again, .text. So we want the color to be #666, and the font style should be in italics. So yes. Next thing we want to grab is our H3. So we want to give this a margin top of 20 pixels, color of black. Let's give this a font size of let's say 1 EM, and color should be the blue color we have, this color, and font width should be, let's make this a bit bold, 600 is okay. Next thing we want to grab is the image box. So we want to make it a circular image. So let's grab the img bx. Let's hope we got that here. Okay, it's in our HTML. So we want to give this a position of relative width of 100%, height 100%, margin bottom of 20 pixels, and let's give it a border radius of 50%. Okay, since we're going to make this have a border radius, so need to have the same width and height. So we're going to give this a width of 80 pixels and a height of 80 pixels, and let's hide the overflow. So overflow hidden. Next thing we want to grab is the image itself. So we want to give this a position of absolute, top 0, left 0 also, width should be 100%, height also 100%, and object fit should be cover. Save this and let's hope it's okay. So okay, think something is wrong with the image. Let's check. Okay, the height is 100 pixels, and I noticed we didn't change the image. So this is image 7, this here should be image 8, and the next one should be image 9. So let's check our browser. Okay, so you can see the over effect, it translates Y, which is moving it up a bit. So the next thing we're going to deal with is our contact form. So next thing we want to do now is to make a new section and give this class of contact and an ID also of contact. So in this div, I'm going to add a div here, and we're going to give this a class of title and h2 of contact text span. It's going to have a span here. I'm going to give this contact us. Next thing we want to grab is the paragraph. So we're going to give this paragraph a class of contact text with a small t, and I'm just going to generate our random text. I just need little text, not a lot, so should be good here. So this is okay. Next thing we want to do is to make the form. So we're going to have a div. It's going to have a class of contact form. So have h3 send message, and we're going to create some divs with a class of input box. And we're going to have our input tag. This is going to have a placeholder of name. So we're going to copy this input box and paste it to 3 times. So this is going to be email. This, we'll get rid of this because we want to change it to text area, and we're going to give this a placeholder of message. Let's get rid of this name. The next thing we want to do is make this a submit button. So let's give this a value of send and type of submit. Save this, and that should be it. Let's go to our CSS to start this. So go here and get the contact class, give this a background image, URL, images/image 11. Don't we have an image 11? So keep this in. Next thing is the small text. So copy this, paste over here. So we want to give this a color of white. Text align to the center. Font size of 18 pixels. So next thing we want to grab is the contact form itself. So copy this. So select contact form. Let's give this a padding of 75 pixels top and bottom and 50 pixels left and right. Next is the background color. Let's give this a background color of white. Box shadow 15 pixels, 50 pixels RGB. Let's use this. Zero comma 0.1. Let's give this a max width of 500 pixels and max the margin top, what's happening? A margin top of 50 pixels. Next thing we want to grab is the H3 on the contact form. So let's give this a color of black. And I want to give this a font size of 1.2 em. Margin bottom of, let's say, 20 pixels, and font width what's happening to my keyboard, font width of 500. Save this. Next we want to grab the input box, so let's go here and say input box position should be relative, the width should be 100%, the margin top should be 20 pixels. So next thing we want to select is the input and the text area. So let's copy this, input, then also the text area. So we want to give this a width of 100%, border of 1 pixel solid FFF light gray, padding of 10 pixels, color should be black, outline, don't want any outline, none, and font size should be 16 pixels. The font weight should be low also, so let's give this 300. And also resize none, we don't want anyone to resize our text area. So let's check out what we've been doing so far. Okay, so you can see it's going okay, but this isn't blending with the image, so maybe we'll give the text a text shadow to make it pop out. So next thing we want to style is our submit button. So grab the input box and input itself, the type of button, type of submit rather. Let's give this a font size of 1 em, color should be white, I don't know what's wrong with my keyboard messing with me. So let's give this a background color. Let's make this RGB, the light blue color. Next thing we want to grab is display. Let it be inline block. Text transform. Uppercase. Text decoration. None. Letter spacing of 2 pixels. Add a transition of 0.5 seconds. Max width of 100 pixels and fonts width of 500. Border none. Finally, the cursor should be pointer. So we're done styling this. So this is how it's going to look like. Now for the text, we're going to add text shadow. So let's give this a text shadow. So yeah, here, so let's text shadow. Of 1.5 pixels, 2 pixels, 1.5 pixels, RGB. So we want to copy this, copy, and also paste it in the paragraph tag. So it's not so obvious, so let's make this RGB, not RGBA. Oh, so sorry. And so you can see it has text shadow, so it's a bit better now. Now the other thing we want to get rid of is this black text. We want it to be white. So let's go up here. Okay, so we want to select this, make it white and also white. So let's save and see what. Okay, not so shabby at all. Looking nice, it's okay. So the next thing we want to do now is to make our footer. So after making the footer, we're going to make this website responsive, and that will be all for this video. So let's make our footer. So we are almost done with the website. So next thing we want to do is to make our footer. So let's comment this here, footer. Now, so we'll select our footer class over here, footer. Now we're going to create a div. It's also going to have another class of quick link. So in here we're going to have h2 saying quick links, and in this h2 we're going to, under this h2 we're going to have a ul, a list, kind of making a nav in the footer. So I'm going to name this about, copy this, we only need about 5 I think. Home, about, destination, testimonials, and contacts. So after this we're going to make another div in the class of sec, and in this class we're going to have another, in this div we're going to have another class of contact box. So here we're going to have the contact info, so h2 contact info. Next thing we want to do is make a ul, give this ul a class of info, and in this ul we're going to have li with span, we're going to give this a class of fa marker. So this is basically going to be pointing out the location. So let's say 644 London Street, BR. Right to the next line. Let's just give this a random address. So we're done with this. Now we're going to create another li span. We're going to have I with the class. I'm going to give this a class of fa phone. So okay, I'm going to show you how to link your phone number and your email address to your website without JavaScript. So simply have the anchor tag, and in this anchor tag you're going to write tell with colon, not semicolon, full colon. Then you have the number. Let's just give this a random number: 0001234567 So this could be your phone number, and when you type it like this, it's automatically going to call this number. So the next thing we want to select is, okay, let's break this so we can have another anchor tag, and the next one is the email. So okay, you know what, let's make this in two places. So company might have two numbers. So the next thing we're going to do is to get the email address. So create another li, this I class fa and below. So I'll show you how to link the email address using HTML. So we have a paragraph tag. In our paragraph tag we have our anchor tag. So we're simply going to write mail to, and then we write the email address. I'm going to use my YouTube channel's email address, which is called myhobby9@gmail.com. and have the email over here. Also, let's write the number in the anchor tag. Save this. Now let's style this in our CSS. So let's select the footer, give this a position, relative, and next I want to give this a width, 100%, a height, a auto, padding, 50 pixels, 100 pixels left and right, background, black, and next we want to give it a display flex, and justify content, space between. Next thing we want to select is the container. Justify content, space between, flex wrap, and flex direction of row. Next thing we want to grab is the sec. Let's say footer, container, giving this a margin right, 30 pixels. Let's copy this. Next thing I want to grab is the about us. Give this a margin right. Okay, sorry, give this a width of 40%. Next thing I want to grab is the H2, container H2. Give this a position, relative, color of white, margin bottom of 15 pixels. Next thing we want to grab is the H2 before property. Give this content, position of absolute, bottom minus 5 pixels, left of 0, width of 50 pixels, height of 2 pixels, and background of the color, the RGB color we've been using. Next thing we want to grab is the paragraph, so footer. Give this a color of light gray. Grab the SCI, social. Give this a margin top of 20 pixels and display flex. Also, we want to grab the LI. Let's give this a list style of none to remove the bullet points. Now we want to grab the anchor tags. Give this a display inline block with 40 pixels. Height of 40 pixels also. Background of black. Justify content to the center. Align items to the center also. Margin right 10 pixels. Text decoration none, and border radius of, let's say, 4 pixels, and transition should be 0.5 seconds. Save this. Next thing we want to do is to add hover effects on the anchor tags. So let's see, I and grab the anchor tag, give it the hover effect. Let's change the background to the RGB color we've been using. So on over, the icons changes to this background color. Now let's select the FA, which are the font icons, the font awesome icons. So let's give this a color of white and font size of 20 pixels. Also, let's grab the quick link. Let's see, I will wrote it here so there won't be any error. Copy this, paste it over here. Position, relative, and width of 25%. Next thing we want to grab is the quick link UL. UL and LI. So let's give this a list style. 0. Let's give this important. Next thing we want to select is the info. Let's give this a position of relative. Now the next thing I want to grab is the li in the info, so let's copy this. Paste it over here, li, display, flex, margin, bottom of 16 pixels. Let's give this an emphasis, so important, yes. Next thing we also want to grab is the first child, so copy this, grab the span and select nth child. Let's grab the first child and give this a color of white. Give this a font size of 20 pixels, margin white of 10 pixels. Save this. Let's check our browser. So you can see how it's looking here. We just want to make sure these icons are visible, so let's fix that real quick. So I'm going to be using the Bootstrap font awesome. I'll be providing the link in the description below, so if you need to get the Bootstrap link for the font awesome, it's going to be in the description below. Now I did notice another error, which was the quick link. Okay, so quick link. So as you can see in our browser, this is looking pretty nice, not too shabby at all. Now the next thing we want to deal with is this contact info, then we'll make it responsive. So let's go back here. Now we want to select the span. Copy this and paste it over here. Li span. So let's give this a color of light gray. Next thing we want to grab is the anchor tags, so copy this again, paste it over here. Color of #999 light gray. Let's give this a text decoration of none. Transition of 0.8 seconds. Now let's add some over effects. Copy this and paste it over here. And give this a color of white. Let's make this 0.5 seconds. Next thing we want to grab is the copyright text. Let's see how we wrote it so we avoid errors. So let's see. I don't think we have a copyright text around here. There was no copyright text, so let's check our browser to see how everything is. Okay. So now let's do some linking. And I'm going to be changing this image because it's kind of looking somehow. So let's fix that real quick. So we go up here and change this to img13. Save. Okay, this is better. Now let's link these properly. So the home page should be index.html, or it should be id banner. Now the next thing we want to grab is the about us id about. Next section should be destination. Did we give this an id? Next we give this an id. So shouldn't be services, it should be destination. Now next section is testimonials, so let's grab the id. Last section is contact. So we do have this button saying learn more, so we want this learn more to go to the about. So let's give this a class. Let's make it give the id about to this anchor tag, so you'll see what it does in a minute. Now also this anchor tag has an id of destination, so this goes to the destination page straight. And okay, view more, the view more should go to testimonial, should go to about page. Okay, let's go to about or testimonial. Let's make it testimonial. So copy this, paste it over here. And we don't have any other buttons, so let's check our browser. So if you click learn more, it goes to the about page. Popular destination goes to the destination page. View more goes to the testimonials. And contact page. So yeah, this is how the website is going to look.
No, not that day.